Market just opened trading for the day, and that's nice to know. One of the questions I get asked most frequently, I'm in a hotel here right now. One of the questions I get asked more frequently is, can you make money or should you trade with a small account? And by small account, a lot of people tend to think or give me the number of, say, $500 to $1,000 in that range. Now, I'm going to be very careful not to discourage anyone with that account size or certainly not talk down on it. But you have to think about it. If you have an account size that small, and I know there's people out there who will tell you that you can make money with that, and usually they'll try to pitch you some currency trading scheme or a futures thing where you're highly levered. And listen, there are always some ways to make money with those kind of things, but with a small account, your margin of error is unbelievably small. So forget highly levered things like currencies or futures and some option strategies. Forget all that for a moment. Even if you just bought a stock, okay, which is not levered. First of all, with just buying stocks, you can't buy that much stock with $500 or $1,000. And if you used a levered instrument, options or God forbid currencies or futures, which are again highly levered and very risky for a small account like that, your margin of error is basically zero. You don't have a margin of error. You're probably going to lose money. And if you lose those $500, you have nothing. Or if you lose $1,000, you're basically down nothing. You have to start again. So what I would suggest, and I highly suggest it to anyone who wants to do this, to get into trading and investing. By the way, here's my mobile office. I'll show you guys a chart in a minute, by the way, is to just save up a little bit more, right? If that's your situation, great. I would just save up a little bit longer. You know, save up to maybe a $5,000 or $10,000 account, and however long that takes, it doesn't really matter because it gives you a much better margin of error. And by the way, in that time it takes you to get to that point, maybe that's months, maybe it's a couple of years. Just learn. Maybe paper trade, or do something that educates you in the stock market and in these markets, as opposed to starting with a very, very small account. Again, the point I'm trying to make is you have almost no margin of error if you trade with such a small account. So just kind of wanted to address that. One more thing I want to do quickly here before I have to go to a conference. I'm going to quickly show you guys something that is interesting here in terms of technology stocks, how they've been outperforming the market of late. So let me show you that. I've got my mobile workstation here going on. Extra screen. This is just a little screen I carry around. I know people are going to ask about that, which is great. Oops. All right. So this is this is Netflix. Okay, this is shares of Netflix. And as much as I have my doubts that these large cap tech and related stocks can break to fresh all-time highs on a sustainable basis, I have to respect the fact that they're coiling up. And in fact, technology stocks, so you can see how this stock is coiling up, and there may be a reason to believe that it goes to $400. So $400 on Netflix, just from a purely psychological aspect and from a momentum perspective, to me is not out of the question at this point. That's from this point as I'm doing this right now, and I'm not in the trade, by the way, because it hasn't actually moved yet. But that's about 10, 12, 13, 14% move to the upside if we get it. To put this in perspective, if we take the NASDAQ 100 and we divide it by the S&P 500, you can see this. It hasn't been majorly so, but we have seen of late a little bit of relative strength breakouts, meaning that NASDAQ stocks like Apple, like the big ones, and Google, they're starting to give us a relative strength versus the broader market. And so if I extrapolate that into other parts of that market in tech and related, then something like Netflix to me looks interesting, particularly if it were to break out of this area, which would probably take place on a pushback above, say, 364, 365. And then maybe you can accelerate towards the round number 400. Certainly don't want to hold this one into earnings, though. But anyway, folks, I hope this is helpful, and I wish you guys a great... oh, no, one more thing. We haven't talked about it yet, and I'm going to talk about it every day for the coming weeks. Our summit, the Phoenix, Arizona. It's the Stock Options and ETF Summit. We call it the Springtime Session. Come and join us, folks. I'm telling you, I'm here in Orlando, Florida right now, and we do these workshops. And an in-person workshop just has such a higher probability of getting people on a quick path to success in the markets. It's not even funny how much better the odds are of you becoming successful, and how much quicker you'll get there if you're in an in-person setting. We do 2.5 days. It's in-depth. We walk your hands. We hold your hands. We walk you through everything right then and there. So if you have a question, I'm there looking over your shoulders. We make a trading plan, make you understand how to scan for the best stocks, how to find the opportunities, how to stop losing money, anything you need to know to get profitable. So make sure to join us there. The link is down below or in the email, and I'll see you guys soon.